I really hope I appear on your little bio, your headshots with all the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know, appearance in Carpooling with Ben.
We can make that happen.
Save the ink.
It's electronic.
It's gonna mean nothing to the. What is this car? No, we don't want to hear it. Either that or they'll look at it and be like, "Oh, the James Corden thing, fake." Yeah. No. Pelosi that right up. So. Hey, welcome into Carpooling with Ben. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest things we have in southern New England is some incredible centers for art and performance. And joining me in the car today are two esteemed performers, actor, actress, thespians, if you will, and one extraordinary director. Ladies and gentlemen, in the front seat from Academy Players of Rhode Island, we have Allii, the director of Tuck Everlasting, a play coming up real soon over at the Academy Players Rhode Island. Get your tickets now because they are selling fast. In the back, we have Mia and Tyler. Mia, who do you play?
I play Winnie Foster in Tuck Everlasting.
Okay, Winnie Foster and Tyler.
And I play Jesse Tuck in Tuck Everlasting.
Fantastic. So, and you are the director. You are in charge of it all. You run the show. And so we're going to talk about this in a little bit. Admittedly, I have not seen Tuck Everlasting. Aside from a few YouTube clips that I went down the rabbit hole, and kind of checked it out. But for those who don't know what it is, give us like the Reader's Digest version as a director.
Sure. Well, it's based off of a book by Natalie Babbitt, which many elementary, middle school students read, usually around this time of year, actually. And the basis of it is there's a family, the Tucks, who have stumbled across this spring, and they end up drinking from it just because they're thirsty by nature, and they end up finding out that they can live forever after drinking from the spring. And Jesse, the rebellious child of the family, ends up he is the troublemaker. He ends up at the spring one day, and Winnie, who is running away from home for the first time, finds him, and the story unfolds where she ultimately has to make a very big decision between living forever and living.
Okay.
So that's the basis of it, and if you want to find out more, you kind of have to come see the show.
Yeah.
All right. So there's nothing having to do with like tucking in your shirt or like.
No.
So I was looking at the wrong video. But that's okay. The theater is incredible. Mia, how long have you been involved with Academy Players?
So I did my first show at Academy in September. I was in Imaginary, so this is my second show, and I love it. It's so much fun.
And Tyler?
This is actually my first show with Academy.
We got rookies in the car, ladies. That's okay. That's all right. You know, we've talked about the Academy Players before, and they've brought it up in the Wicked Roadie podcast. We've talked about it. We had, when you guys did Newsies last year, we had some of the cast members in here. This is not just a place where the actors and actresses come in and do the play and go. This is a very much a world-class learning facility as well. There's a lot of things. Mia, as you've come into this, this is your second time, how have you found that experience with the learning side of things?
So I've been doing theater since I was about 6 years old, and when I first came to do Imaginary, I learned like so many more things. And really the thing at Academy, I met like so many people. It's really like a family, and I learned like definitely like how they run, and it's an amazing theater, an amazing program there. Tyler,
you've done acting before. Yes. You've been in plays and stuff. I'm assuming you told me you did. It's good. I trust you. What's the difference? I'm not trying to disparage the other theaters, but what's different about coming here versus where you've performed before?
Well, the Academy is a giant family atmosphere, and everyone since I've been there has been so welcoming, and everyone's so committed to their parts and working as hard as they can, and rehearsals are always just pretty efficient, fun. I don't know. Yeah,
I'm glad to know they're efficient.
We hired an efficiency expert to kind of go through there. That's Tyler. He's kind of doubling. He's a mole for Performance Evaluators Incorporated. But so that's great. I mean, because the last group of cast members we had in the car, they talked about some of the dance and the intensives that they put on, and that's not just for you know, your own cast and crew. That's for really anybody.
Yeah.
People can sign up for that stuff. Talk to me a little bit about the educational aspect of the Academy.
Absolutely. So over the past few years, we've had a multitude of theater professionals. We've had Chris Rodriguez from First Stage. She's also in Spring Awakening. She came in and did a master class for us. We've had Casey Robert Brown, who's written many of the musicals that we performed at Academy, including 13 and Bridges of Madison County, and he came and did a huge masterclass with a lot of our younger population at the time. But also we have some amazing just individual teachers that are just from the local community.
Okay.
So Lisa King does a lot of our vocal lessons. We've got Julia Gillis, who's our choreographer for this show, has been with us for the past 3 or 4 shows, I believe, and she has done, not only does she choreograph the numbers at rehearsals, but sometimes she'll do intensives before the rehearsals really start so that people can kind of see how she works. And that's all free to our performers, and that's something that they really wouldn't be able to get necessarily anywhere else, included with their experience of the show itself.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the nice thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's awesome facility to take in a show, and and if you're an actor or actress to participate, or if you're one of the musicians, or you're one of the tech people or the crew or whatever it is, there's a lot to learn there, but you take so much away from it, as much as you contribute on the stage or behind the stage, wherever it is. So that's a really awesome thing. So what is the process like for you, Mia and Tyler, as far as learning lines? We're talking to people out there who may not have ever done a play before. So what's the process like? To determine who's going to go first, ladies and gentlemen, rock, paper, scissors, go.
Oh, Mia.
Okay, so the way I definitely learn lines, my brother actually taught me this. He also does theater. When I get my script, I go on like voice memos on my phone, and I read all the other people's lines, and then when it comes to my line, I just like say the lines in my head. So if my parents are at work or my brothers are at school or something, I can just like rehearse it really easy. And then also another thing I do is I say the lines when I'm learning it 3 times and just like gets in my head and just like got it. That's probably how I learn them. Yeah.
Look at you employing the technology. Take that, Shakespeare. Your original plays. It's like, I mean, you think about the original scripts back in the day too. They were like on tablets and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, you never wanted the lead role because it was just more stones you had to carry. Tyler, what is your?
Mine's a lot less tech savvy. So I usually use flashcards.
Okay.
Where I'll write my cue lines on one side of it and my line on the other side, and I try to guess it from it.
Okay.
And I learn a lot from just repetition of doing it in scenes, because then I associate movements with lines and stuff like that. So that's how I learn most of my lines.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your experience in getting into the director's role. Yeah, I assume you've been in as a cast member before.
I have.
That's good. That must be inspiring.
Yeah. So actually, I majored in nursing in college, and I'm a nurse now, but I also majored in theater. So that was kind of where, I mean, I had done theater in high school, but in college is where I kind of found more of a love for all sides of theater rather than just being on stage. And I started at Academy in 2015 in the Heights, and last year I approached Rita, the CEO of Academy, with our idea of doing a fundraiser for Heavenly Gingers, and I said I would love to direct the show Godspell. And that was the first full-blown musical that I had ever directed. That was last April, right around the time of the show's going up now. And it was a whirlwind. It was a relatively small cast, so it was kind of a nice way to ease into it, but definitely stressful. I mean, it's a lot of things you don't think about when you're on stage. You know, when you're on stage, you just learn the lines and do it, and when you're in charge of it, there's a lot more you have to think about.
Yeah, it's coordination and things.
Yeah.
So there's an interesting dichotomy between the 2 career choices you have, nursing and acting.
Yeah.
So does that mean, like, when you were doing nursing stuff, you could tell if somebody was faking it? Like, oh, I don't feel good. You're terrible.
I mean, I work in pediatrics, so it's definitely makes it easier to tell sometimes dramatics, but it also helps me if I'm having a bad day. I can just turn on my fake smile.
Well, it's interesting. We've talked about the education component, and also just the resources we have here in Southern New England. You know, Trinity Rep, which is like you guys, a world-class organization. They actually train doctors and nurses from Brown University. They teach them the empathy and how to show the human side of things, because sometimes that gets lost in the translation. And just being able to, how to portray that and how to, even display it, even if it's not, a physical touch, even if it's just, active listening and stuff. So there are a lot of benefits to the education from the theater.
I agree. It could help in any career.
Yeah, it really could. Some people say that I probably would win an award, like a Webby, if I would take some theater classes before doing this. Clearly these things. Thank goodness for NIROPE helping me out there. So everything I learned was from those generous, balding Italian guys. Tuck Everlasting, when does it open up at Academy Players?
It opens up April 2nd and it runs through April 12th.
Okay, so we've got a limited run of it. Folks, go online right now. Get tickets to this. Become a supporter of the Academy Players, because they really do amazing work. And if you are looking for something unique, special to give to a child or a family member, makes a great gift.
Sure does.
And you have amazing snacks when you go there. Carrie's Concessions.
Yes, absolutely.
Frank O'Donnell, shout out. Love you, buddy. Which is obviously just a wonderful thing there. The shows are always well attended. It's such a perfect, intimate performance space, but don't mistake the size of the room for the quality and caliber of the talent you're going to see on the stage. Absolutely. There. You like that?
Yeah, that's good.
That's right.
Feel that Webby coming.
Yeah, that's right. Or something. Most likely to fail after 200 episodes. One of the cool things about this show is it's also a fundraiser for Heavenly Gingers this year. We had the Heavenly Ginger series for a number of years, but as times change, that whole element is changing. So talk to me how this is going to help that organization.
Sure. So last year we did the fundraiser with Godspell, and that raised $5,000 for Heavenly Gingers.
Fantastic.
Which was totally unexpected. It was the first time we've ever done something like that, and the community really came out and supported. And this year we wanted to do it again, and it's a much larger scale musical. Last year we had 13 cast members. This year we have about 36 in the cast, and proceeds from this show go towards Heavenly Gingers, so 50-50 raffles that we have, concessions. And the coolest thing this year is that both Frank O'Donnell and John Morris will be in the show.
Oh, fantastic.
So it's kind of a cool moment for them we're honoring their daughters, and they get to be on stage doing what their daughters love the most.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, folks, past episodes we've talked about the organization granting scholarships to local students who really are looking for just classes in the arts and stuff, which is so great because the money stays local, it stays right here, and people can apply to it just by going online and learn about it. So that's a really special element. People can go online.
Yes.
About it. Okay.
They can go online to academyplayersri.org to get tickets. Also, our Facebook page will be found there. We're on Instagram. And also, if anyone's watching who's friends with any of the cast, they're selling tickets in person as well.
You guys are like MasterCard. Yeah. Everywhere you want to be.
Exactly.
And incidentally enough, you take MasterCard. Yeah, there you go. That's it. But not Discover. No. No, you do. I think we take everything. If it's green,
we got the square.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, you get the square.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Wow. It's, when you get to the pentagram, it gets a little crazy.
Yeah,
but that's the fees, the processing fees. I'll get you. Folks, go find them online, follow them, like them, love them, share this episode. And if you haven't seen it yet, the lovely two actors, actor and actress, the backseat, have quite a performance for you. So make sure you go follow them because you're going to want to see them. I will not say it. Just